I love Brian Branch, but what he did is inexcusable, and it's not going to be accepted here. It's not what we do. It's not what we're about. I apologize to Coach Reed and the Chiefs and and Schuster. That's not okay. That's not what we do here, and it's not going to be okay. He knows it. Our team knows it, and so that's not what we do. As far as the game, we just didn't make the plays it needed to make. We were able to do some things good in phases at times, but not enough for a team like that. With the pedigree they have, the way they play, back at their house, we could not complement each other, and we weren't able to really make it a game. We really weren't. So that's really the story of the game.
What level of disappointment you have overall?
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because it's been a long time since you're watching somebody kneel it 3 times in front of you, and it's not even close. You're down 2 scores. I mean, we got worked pretty good. So yeah, it's disappointing. It's really disappointing.
How were they able to kind of take control of that game in the second half?
Well, I'd say, look, they got some things going. Really from the time that they came out at halftime, they were able to take it all the way down and, turn that into points, which, they did it at the end of the half, too. So they kind of got the twofer because we couldn't get points on the offensive side. And really we knew, more importantly, I felt like this was going to be a game that we were going to need to score 30 points at least. And we couldn't. That's to me is where more of this kind of came. We weren't able to get the points required, to give ourselves a chance here at the end of the game. And defensively, yeah, there's some things that we had opportunities there that we have to capitalize on. We got no takeaways, just a couple of things that showed up. But really, the offense, man, is we knew we needed to show up here. We needed to show up, and we weren't able to do it. 17 is not enough. It's not enough. It's not close.
Speaking of the offense, very uncharacteristic for Saint to have a drop like that. You called it nice you had an opportunity. But that seemed to be a big swing when they were able to go down and get there in the second half. Just uncharacteristic of Brian. Just how big of a moment did that end up being?
Yeah, I mean, but I go back to this. It does. Look, Saints made a ton of plays for us. And really what frustrates you more than anything is that, okay, then after that point, then, what's the next play we got to make to get ourselves back in it? That's where's it going to come from? We're going to get the takeaway on defense for special teams or offense when we get time to answer back. Can we go down and do something with it? And, yeah, we didn't convert. It was 4th down. It was a big play, but there's a number of plays. And I really felt like, speaking of the first half, there was 3 plays in there. We make any one of them, and the game is really a lot different in the first half. So, we didn't do it. We didn't do it.
Sorry, what 3 plays made come to mind? Or the Saint one,
yeah.
2 others?
We had a couple of penalties that were big that hurt us at the wrong times, and that drop hurt. Those are. We get off the field on some of those on defense. So.
Kansas City had a lot of pre-snap motion, a lot more than usual, and they were using a lot of crossing patterns. Did they confuse your defense at all?
No, I wouldn't say that. I felt like, everything that they had really shown is what we had worked on. What they do a good job of is they create rubs, with those. And so it's one thing to know who you have, your responsibility. It's another to get through the trash, right? So they do a great job of it, and we just couldn't get through some of that stuff. And, we got picked a couple of times on those, and they executed. We didn't.
What explanation did you get from the refs on the golf touchdown overturned, and did you agree with the explanation?
It doesn't matter if I agree or disagree. It was.
Did they explain it suitably?
Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So I know it came from New York, and they said he never stopped. He stayed in motion. He can't stay in motion. That was that. So that had no bearing on the game. I mean, we lost by 13 points.
You go 15 plays, nearly 10 minutes on that first drive. Just where did the offense lose that consistency?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you right now without going back and watching the film. We had a pretty good flow going. Wanted to be able to run it out there. We broke some good runs, and but I know if you get a TFL or you get a no gain, and then you have an incompletion, and now you're 3rd and 10, and you don't. I mean, it's one thing to try to want to continue to get first downs, but if you can't even get in position to go for it and get first downs, that's tough, man. And we ended up in that boat about 3 different times, so that's hard. But like I said, we'll watch the film and we'll clean this stuff up, and we're going to have to. I mean, Tampa Bay's coming in; they're a good football team, so we're going to have to be ready. I mean, they're all good, and it's not going to get any easier. These only get harder and harder as you go, and they're more meaningful every game that we go. But, I go back to this. Maybe we needed this, Maybe we needed to get kicked around a little bit, because that's what happened.
You knew it was going to be tough. They were desperate. They needed the win. You were missing a bunch of defensive backs. Was it about as you anticipated? Is that why you tried a lot of, again, offensive things early on, controlling the ball for so long?
I mean, you feel like the offense is going to need to carry more of this load, That's the way I felt, just knowing where we were going into this game defensively. And so with that, then they've got to be able to do more for us, and we just weren't able to put up enough points. I mean, that's the bottom line.
A couple more guys looked severely hobbled after coming back in the game at times. Can you just explain, is that something that you're worried about making it worse, or how do you make that decision?
Well, I think if we have time to, if he gets some significant time off, I think this thing will calm down, But unfortunately, we don't have time. We just tried to calm it down as much as we could and get him out here to where he's ready to play. He felt good enough to play, and we gave him a go. And, I would like to say that once we get to the bye, this thing will calm down. That's what we believe. But we won't know until we do it, until it happens.
Sorry about that.
No, you're
Did
good.
the offensive performance surprise you in any way?
Surprised me? I guess I just, I don't know if surprised me. We felt like we could do some things in the run game, and then, we'd be able to open it up in the pass game. The only thing that surprised me, I thought we'd make more plays in some of these critical moments that we absolutely needed it, when the defense needed us, and we just couldn't quite get there, It was one of those just kind of odd days. It didn't go our way, It's one thing here, one thing there, one player here, one player there, or the call, or it's everybody, man. It's, we all got a hand in this, so. And that's what happened. When you win, man, everybody's kind of doing their part, and everybody's complimenting each other. And when you don't, it's just, man, it's one thing here, one thing there, and we just can't quite overcome it with one of the other units. That's what happened,
Just forgetting about how the officials called it, do you have any second thoughts about that trick play down at the 1-yard line on 4th down?
You mean just whether I would not do it again?
Yeah, or try something different, or...
No, we're trying to get in the end zone. They got in the end zone. I don't know what else to do. So, but yeah, I guess we could do something else to get in the end zone. But no, I don't second guess it, And there again, we had plenty of plays to make that we didn't make, We didn't even make it. We didn't do enough. We didn't do enough.